Simcha was liberated through giving. This was the character's amazing victory over this illusion without even knowing that she's fighting a battle. She didn't know she was fighting a battle, and she won. It is amazing. But her weapon in this battle was giving, was compassion. And she did that against what is now being perceived as acting in a normal way. Humanity perceives giving in a most distorted way. To give something is to take something away from you. And this is the common perception. You give something, you are weaker because you gave it. You don't have this thing, you gave it away. If it's something like a possession, so it's no longer in your possession. And if it's your energy that you give away your energy. And then it's not yours anymore. And you are weaker because you gave it away. And so this is the great mistake humanity perceives as true. Because it is true that if you give to others in the story, you will have less. And you will be weaker because you went into all this trouble of making an effort for someone who is not you, so you didn't strengthen yourself, you gave your power away. So it's, of course, it's logical to say this, to reach this conclusion, but in the absolute reality of oneness, it does not matter who gives to who. So no one is getting stronger and no one is getting weaker. This giving is not personal. It's not one character gives to another character. It's all nothingness giving to itself. Nothing is lost. You don't give away anything. So actually, giving to others is a very egotistical thing to do, because basically and truthfully you give to yourself, and this is the most narcissistic thing you can do, give to yourself. But the illusion of the separate forms in this world leads us to believe that we are separate, and giving something means losing it. This state is pure compassion and giving to itself. You can see this truth in every single interaction you are exposed to. Every flower that receives a drop of rain. The rain gives itself to the flower. The flower blooms. This is the nature of the rain. This is the nature of the flower. The flower gives itself to the bee. This is the nature of the flower. This is the nature of the bee. And unlike people, the flower doesn't feel that the bee takes something away from him. It knows that it is for his own good to give himself to the bee. Through her actions, it preserves itself, and everything can develop and grow. So these types of giving, like the rain that you give without any judgment who receives this present of this water. It just flows because this is its nature, because it cannot help itself but to be what it is. And also the giving that knows that it is for its own sake, that it is good. So you can see the movement of giving around you. It's clear to see how giving evolves everything, opens everything. And when we go back to the separate form, the character, who thinks it must defend itself by keeping its power to itself, it is such a mistake, because keeping this power inside, not using it for the benefit of others and the world, it's like still water. It doesn't do good to the character. It poisons the character, because self-giving, just concentrating on what will be good for me, feeds the ego and the sense of separateness. And this is how the sense of separateness gets stronger and stronger, and you identify with the separate form, because you go into so much trouble protecting it and not sharing it. Not sharing your present with the world, your power with the world, everything that you are with the world, corrupts your power. There is a sense of self. This is me. This is what I need. And if I'll have extra, I'll give to someone else, because I need to take care of me first. And generally, it is a wise and logical thing to say first. Be strong yourself first. Know that you yourself are strong, that you can manage this life. You don't deprive yourself of what you need just to help others or to be a good man. First, see that you can give, but look closely, because sometimes in the name of being stronger and first me, I'll be stronger, we connect ourselves to the story, to what it takes to be strong. And it's an illusion that for me to be strong, I need all these things. Sometimes for me to be strong, stronger and more stable and balanced, is to be involved and care about others. This action paradoxically makes us stronger, makes us more balanced. This is a great way to help ourselves when we do that for others. The most important thing is knowing who and how to give ourselves to. And we must not make this mistake, because if we give for the wrong reasons and to the wrong people, there are no wrong people, they're just people who are not supportive to your personal development. So people that even if you'll try to help them, it will not help them and it will destroy you. So these kinds of people, it is not helpful for this process that you try to help them. And you can try to do that for egotistical reasons, that it looks good, that it looks like they need help. They ask for it, but it's not good for them, you know, and it's not good for you. So this is the wrong kind of giving, and it's not the giving I'm talking about. The giving I'm talking about is such a blissful and joyous giving. it gives to the giver the exact pleasure or power as it gives to the one he gives to. So giving this thing when it's right, when you know that through this giving that something will be better, and you will feel joy because you enjoy giving this thing. Giving is not suffering. Suffering for others. Giving is like two children playing together and they are on a seesaw, I don't know, and one of them is down right now and you must pick him up. So you take the swing and you lift him, and it's a game and you enjoy it and he enjoys it because this is the movement. And giving to someone who is sitting on a rock and you try to do this move, it will not work and it will be very, very frustrating for you. And you can think, oh, this nonsense about giving, I'm giving and I'm giving and I get nothing in return and I don't feel good at all and I'm not helping at all, and it's not good. So it's the wrong kind of giving because you didn't follow the first rule of giving. Know who to give and how to give. We hear about people or masters that reached enlightenment through suffering so much that they couldn't stand themselves. They couldn't stand it. So then they understood that there is no self. Through the very, very, very extreme suffering, the point of dying, they realized that there is no self. But I don't recommend getting to this point this way, suffering so much, because Simcha reached this state through acting in her reality in a compassionate way, through giving herself. So it's beautiful. She gave herself. There was a self, Simcha's self, and she gradually and consistently gave it away. This is Simcha. This is the self of Simcha. This is her character. These are her qualities. Do you want some of it? Do you need something? So she gave. She gave and she gave the self. And she enjoyed doing that because she did that for her friends. And she saw her friends happy, or her family. So slowly, she emptied this identification with the self, and this is the process she can recommend to reach this state. Losing the self through giving yourself. Before Simcha's liberation, she suffered a great deal from herself. There was self-inflicted pain. She was a hypochondriac, she had anxieties, and she couldn't stand herself. She couldn't stand the thoughts. And she intuitively understood that reaching to others and helping others in their lives helped her. That she became stronger every time she gave herself, every time she got inside a situation and chose to really look at the person in front of her and what can she do for him. And then she forgot herself, or she gave herself. Take this little part of me, take this time away from me. This is time better spent doing this. It's a useful thing to do because I help. And then you are stronger. And then I passed another minutes or hours of not being consumed by this pain that the self inflicted on Simcha. So she knew that. She knew intuitively that she's helping herself so much. But she didn't know the greater meaning of this move, where it will lead her eventually. She didn't know that. She only knew that there is a relief, some kind of a relief in this pain, and there is satisfaction, and there is growth, and things move smoother, and everyone is happier. And why not? Why not? What was better for her to be obsessed with herself, to suffer more, to try to figure out what to do inside her head? And inside the head, there are no answers. There is no inside our heads. Everything inside our heads, you can see symbolized in the world and reality around you. This is your head. This is your brain. The things that surround you are your inner soul, your inner mind. It is a symbol. It looks like a table with a person sitting and eating in a coffee house. This is how it looks like. But basically, it is you. It is your soul. Everything. So you can't go inside the head. It does not exist. You don't have any mechanism inside your head like in the Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times factory, that you go inside and you take this and you try to fix it. It cannot be done. It is an unexisting place. So the only place you can fix your mind is the outer reality. It's what's being perceived in your eyes. And this outer reality, these people around you, these plants, these animals, everything around you is you. And it needs your attention. So she intuitively knew that. And she acted this way. And this is why she recommends giving yourself until nothing is left, until you don't think about yourself. Because there is no one to think about. You gave all this thing away. You shared it. And in the same way that I said, if you had something and you gave it to another person, it's not yours anymore. So this self is not yours anymore. You shared it, you gave it, and it does not stay with you. And the beautiful thing is that it affects the world around you. That you can see it with your own eyes, your growth, your spiritual development. You can see it in your reality when you do that. The only thing that you should take under consideration when you ponder on this idea of giving, and it's your inner intuition, as always, your inner compass. We are not meant to give just because it's God said so in some book. You must give money to the poor, give food to those who are hungry. This is not the kind of giving I'm talking about, though it will be nice to give money to the poor. But sometimes it's not the right thing to do. Maybe someone is poor and he doesn't need the money because it will not help him. Something else will help him. And so you should trust your intuition and see that you want to give this thing. You are connected to this thing. This giving is to someone or something that is connected intimately with you, with your ability to help, your talent, your resources, and everything that you can offer to this thing. It must be aligned. What needs to be helped, and how and why do you do that. And it needs to be from a place that recognizes that this fits. If I'll do that, it's so logical because I know him and I can do that, and I know that person who can help him, and I can make this connection, and through me it can happen, so I'll do it. And jump on every opportunity you have to help. It's like chasing the Pokemons. There was a game my son was playing in his mobile, when you look for virtual Pokemons, and when you find them, just you are so happy you found someone, found this Pokemon. But these good deeds, you should jump on every opportunity that is right for you to do that. This is your treasure. This is the most evolved thing you can do. Much greater than any possible self-practicing or meditation or prayer. One action in this world, one compassionate action, real action, is equal to a lifetime of self-indulgence in practicing the mind. So you should jump on every opportunity that presents itself to you to help, no matter if it's a very minor thing or a very big challenge. It is not for them. It is not for someone else. The same way you would give to yourself, the same way you look at yourself, you should look at the world around you. And knowing that for a fact, and trying to grasp this idea that oneness is not just some beautiful phrase that you say, we are all one, this is oneness, everything moves simultaneously. Really? And practically understanding that this thing is one. So there is no difference what you do inside this thing, this illusion of a thing. And all this giving, the characters and everything, it's in the story. This thing, all nothingness, God, call it what you want, doesn't need you to give anything to anyone, because it's already complete. It doesn't want anything, it doesn't need anything, it doesn't need you to give and to be better. It just is. But in the illusion of the story and its potential of growth and beauty, giving is the way to make everything reach its highest potential, because this thing, or nothingness, wants to reach its highest potential, the maximum of his ability to express itself. And let's face it, it is doing a wonderful and amazing job, because when we look around us and see the infinite expressions of this thing, we cannot grasp how vastly it expresses itself. But it wants more, it wants to reach the extent of its expression. So each and every one of us who appear to be separate from this thing, but in fact we are this all-nothingness, this representation, we must reach our highest potential. And our highest potential will never be successful, like being the president of the United States or being very rich is not reaching the highest potential a person can reach. It is not connected to outer circumstances. It is connected to his ability to connect to himself and to open himself and give himself and share his potential, express his potential through giving. This is the way we reach our highest potential, not by having money or a great relationship or wonderful children, or we are the greatest artist in the world. This is not reaching our highest potential. Because being the greatest artist in the world, you are born this way. This is a talent, this is a gift. You don't practice and become Picasso. You are born Picasso. But we are being born with this mask that hides the fact that we are one. And giving is the way of tearing or making little holes in this mask, small holes that I hope that they will broaden and this mask will tear from our faces, because we and humanity will understand its nature. And you can imagine what would have happened in the world if humanity was acting instead of how it acts now on the basis of these truths. You can imagine what the world would look like. This would be its highest potential. So, this is my warm recommendation. Do you want to get rid of yourself, of this egotistical, separate form? Give yourself. Jump on every opportunity you have, like you found gold. Great, I can do that. I am strong and I can do that, and I'm doing that, and something is different. Mind and take care of not falling into the trap of the sacrificed saint that helps others and suffers in the process. You are not supposed to suffer through giving. This is a clear sign you are not doing it right. Don't do that. Not in the name of giving. This we can leave to the scriptures and to the Bibles and to the religions, this kind of giving. No, this giving has to be pure, happy, childlike. And it should give you the same amount of joy as it gives to the thing or the one you give to. This is how you know you are doing it right. So give yourself. Know that through this compassionate giving, the only one you are helping is yourself. And this is the greatest way I can offer to be liberated from yourself.